think we ran out of methanol. Wait, what? I got a special video for you guys today. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you keep watching. Today, I'm going to be installing the Snow Performance Stage 2.5 water methanol injection system for the 3.5 Ecoboost. Alright guys, so it's really easy to get confused with this setup because there's just a lot going on here. There's a lot of stuff and it can get really confusing. So I want to try to help you guys be able to figure this out a little bit easier. This is the throttle body spacer. It's going to be on the intake like this. You guys might recognize this little piece. It's in your kit. It's got a hole there and a hole there. Let me see, this is nozzle. So in the picture, they show it being screwed into here. And you're supposed to screw in the little screen there. You're supposed to screw that in there. And the little hole right there, you can't really see, is going to be facing down inside there, inside the spacer. So you can't screw this in like that because when you start tightening this down, this thing will interfere, it will hit this, and you won't be able to tighten it all the way. So what you have to do is not follow the picture. It doesn't matter. You're going to put the screen in here in this end first. Screw that all the way down tight. And then you're going to screw it in just like that. And you can see there's no interference or hitting of that going on because now I'm fully tight right there. Now, let's talk about nozzles. There's two nozzles that come with the kit. One says number 4, the other one says number 6. I'm going with the number 6. There's a chart you can go find that says that the number 6 is good for up to 700 horsepower at 21 to 25 psi of boost. The number 4 is less, so I'm not going to be using the number 4. I'm going to be using the number 6. Put that back in its container. You're going to grab this. This is your check valve, okay? There's an arrow on it showing the direction of flow. I'm going to screw this into here because this is going to then screw into there because the direction of flow is going that way. So now I flipped it around. So you're going to take one of these NPT fittings and screw it in here. Now you might be like, what in the world? That thing's way too long. There's going to be room for it like this on your truck. So don't worry about that. All right, then your kit comes with 2 of these short hoses. So I'm going to go ahead and screw one into here. So now we have this. This is the solenoid. This is going to keep fluid from siphoning into your system. So I put 2 of the NPT fittings in there. Those are the last 2. There's no more for the kit. No more 3/8 ones anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and screw in, we're going to screw in, you can see it says in and out. So you're going to screw in the outside to that. So your setup should look something like that. It's going to hook up to this side of the pump. Now for my setup, I'm going to be using the stock windshield wiper fluid tank. So I stole this out of the tank because there wasn't an extra one. So I stole it out of the tank that came with the kit. And I'm going to be installing this in my windshield washer fluid tank in the bottom. I'm hoping that I can then put this short hose on here.
I actually used the longer hose between the pump and the tank, but you guys will see that later in the video.
So I haven't been filming too much, but now I'm going to start filming more. It was mostly just me trying to wrap my head around everything that was going on, looking at the directions, messing around with some of the electrical part of this. So I've actually started getting into it now, so let me show you what I've done so far. So as you can see, I'm on the driver's side here. I took the wheel off, and there is the windshield washer tank. I have put a hole in the bottom of it and tapped it and put this. This is the 3/8 connector that was in the tank that they gave me, I took it out, I stole it, used a little bit of this thread sealant, put it on there, screwed it in, tightened her up, and should be good to go. So now I got to run the hose, this hose right here, from here to the pump. So I mounted the pump. You want it below the tank, theoretically, as low as below it as you possibly can. So I mounted it right there. I just screwed it in with some self-tapping screws. I wish I had a light over here, but I don't. I screwed it with some self-tapping screws into this little, it's not really structural, but that little piece there that goes over to the frame. It's a piece of metal, so this thing is really solid. The flow is going this way, so I will hook up this piece right here with my solenoid, because I need the solenoid for this to work. This should reach from there, from right there, over to the throttle body spacer, which I have not put in yet because I didn't want to put it in yet in case I wasn't going to finish this today. So that's where the pump goes. The other line is going to be coming in right there, hooking up to here from the tank over there. And then I just have to do the wiring part of it, and I got to hook up the spacer. But guys, this is kind of what we're going to be doing right here. There's our check valve right here, and there, and make sure you get the flow correctly. And then here's our boost sensor. Yes, it's kind of on an angle. I'm going to use some Teflon tape. You're not supposed to use You're not supposed to use Teflon tape on any of the other connections, but for the boost sensor, I'm going to, because it doesn't have to do with methanol, so it should be fine. You guys notice there's like an angle, and it doesn't look like it's going to tighten enough. Once I put some Teflon tape on there, I think it's gonna work out, and I'll be able to turn it a little past that. It's just a pressure sensor. The wiring is going to be pretty easy, all things considered. It might be a little bit challenging, but I basically found a 12-volt source right under here in the panel. I'll show you guys more of that later, but I basically have to run a couple wires through the firewall over and to the pump and some different things and get them in here. Otherwise, we're looking good. I'll give you guys an update in a few minutes. All right, guys, there is our connection there. Here's the boost sensor. I just haven't hooked the wire up. You can see it sticks out right there. And then our check valve is right here. And our hose goes down there, comes around there, and goes into the pump. So I didn't end up filming a lot of the process because it was really taking a lot of focus and it was a lot of work. But I'm going to show you guys what I did, and that should be plenty for you to be able to do it yourself. You can see some of my wiring down there. Some grounds come up to here. I try to make everything really nice with shrink tubing and everything. You guys can see the solenoid right there. Kind of hard to see, but it's just sitting right there. And the wires go over here. It does not matter, these wires. There's one that's going to be ground and one that's going to be power. And that power is going to connect in with the red wire on the pump right here. And then the black wire from the pump is a ground as well. But on the solenoid, it doesn't matter which wire you decide to use for your ground and which one you use for your power. They're interchangeable. The pump, it does matter. Use the red for the power and the black for the ground. That's where I mounted my pump. It's lower than the tank because the tank is right here. I came through that grommet back there that goes into the cab. So I just kind of fished down through there, down into the, by the kick panel. I'll show you guys what I mean in a minute. But I ran the wire out here inside of a nice braided covering just to kind of protect it. So it comes over here, and then I have the ground wire coming out right here and on the battery. So it just kind of comes out of there, right there. And then the wire goes this way, and we run down here, over here to the pump. And then the wire comes up here onto the engine to the boost sensor right there. Let's take a look in here really quick. So here's the kick panel. You guys can see a bunch of my wires coming in right here. They kind of come from way up that way. You can take this thing off of here, pull it down, and then you can actually see up in there a little bit easier. In the kick panel, right here, let's see, get this off. Take a look at what I did there. So I tapped into, currently this is how I have it. I do have a relay coming and I may switch to that relay, but I tapped into fuse number 2, and I'm running the pump off of that. So that's where we're getting our 12 volt switched source power from. I may actually switch to the relay later and run a fuse right off the battery. If I do that, I will show you guys what I do for that, and I will probably still use this switched source that I just showed you in there. I'll use that switched source to trigger the relay, because you still have to have the switched source, obviously. Okay guys, one last thing I wanted to show you is right there, you can see my line, and there's my tap into my stock washer fluid tank. And I just wanted to double check that it wasn't leaking, and it's not, because I used a thread sealant. But you can kind of see where my hose goes. It's zip tied right there. It kind of goes over there, and then there's kind of a bunch of it, so I ended up rolling it up and sticking it right there. But that shouldn't matter. For now, the gauge is going to sit there because I don't really need to see it per se all the time. I can kind of see it if I tilt my head down. But actually, there's something about this that I do want to show you guys, because it's it confused me, and there's something about this I definitely want to show you guys because it was a little bit confusing. The drawing that they give you is tells you what to do pretty well, except on the boost sensor.
So the gray wire is actually the white wire. You guys can see that gray wire there. It needs to be white because white wouldn't stand out on the drawing there because the background is white. So you're going to go white to blue, red to pink, and black to brown.
All right, so I'm going to push the on button here, and let's see if the screen turns on. There we go. It's firing up. I'm going to go ahead and just start the truck. So it's going to show boost right here, and you can see I have it turned off right now. So there's your start injection. I have it starting at 12, and then it's going to start spraying full blast 100% at 20 psi. So everything is off right now. All right guys, so I pulled the nozzle out of the throttle body spacer there because we're going to test the system, and I'm going to prime the pump. So I'm going to leave that there just for a second. We're going to go turn the key on. Turn the key on real quick. Come in here to our controller. On. All right guys, so you see this little button right there, right below the P? That means prime. So I'm going to push that button, and we should see that nozzle spray. Hopefully. Huh, it didn't spray. All right guys, so I have to keep pushing the button because the prime is taking a little bit, but it's finally starting to spray. As you can see, it looks pretty good. She's rolling.
I'm really impressed with how well that injection system worked. On our little test spray there, looked really cool. Cannot wait to see what it's going to do. There's definitely some hurdles with installing that kit from Snow Performance, but it's a quality kit. Once you figure it out and you take the time to research and talk to people who have done it before, which is why I'm making this video, so it makes it easier for you guys when you go to install your own, then you'll figure it out. I need to end the video off there for right now, but there's going to be more updates coming soon on how that methanol injection works. Like I said, I promise we're going to get on a dyno soon. I don't know exactly when yet, but currently there's snow out the window. So there's not too much we're going to be able to do right now as far as doing some polls and stuff like that and seeing how the injection system works. But I promise you guys we're going to figure all that stuff out. We're going to see how much power we can make on the dyno. I'm really curious to see. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.